And we're back with some more suggestions and tips on how to use some of your characters since the update. Before I get into how I use my female Majin character, plays very, very similarly to the male Earthling. And the skills that I recommend are, for the most part, pretty much the exact same, with the exception of Shining Slash, which they cannot equip. That is why Critical Upper is here. And how I speculated this character is pretty much the exact same. She is the max buff that you can get on a character. She is the third height, and she's got 125 in HP, basic, as well as strike. So I'm going to be showing off a couple of combos that you may or may not be aware of, and one of them I was actually not aware of until I watched a couple of my buddy's videos, Ryuko, otherwise known as QB4 Square. I mention him all the time. You should already know of him at this point if you don't already, honestly, because a lot of his videos are very good, and he's got some really cool stuff on there, and he really knows what he's doing, if I'm being honest. I've learned quite a bit just from watching him. And so this is what I would recommend doing to proc the Super Soul on your female Majin if you're using... I've got my Claws in you and Fangs too. You're going to want to use Critical Upper, but before we do that, I want to go ahead and show off a couple of endless combos. So, for the male Earthling, it's going to be the exact same thing. You're going to do 1 to 4 basics, heavy, step forward. Nothing new there. Now this one, I learned from watching my buddy QB4 Square in a couple of his videos. He's very talented with the female Majin character, and he knows what he's doing with them, honestly. It's ridiculous. And I think he told me that he uses max height on all of his characters just so that he can get the most hitboxes out of them. And that's very smart, honestly, especially considering he knows how to perfect block like a prodigy. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I learned this from watching him. So it's a heavy string, and then you would do a key blast, step forward, and repeat. Now, I personally don't use that because I find it a little bit finicky and a bit trickier. I'm just more comfortable with the other one, if I'm being honest. This one. Same thing as the male Earthling. I recommend only 3 basics and then go into the heavy. Okay, so now to show off how I proc, I have my Claws in you and Fangs too. So we're going to put him on super strong. And he grabbed me at the beginning. Jerk. So my idea here is to whittle his stamina down a bit first. And then the critical upper. Another critical upper. You won't be able to proc the second one right away, so you're going to have to wait a little bit, like you would have to if you were doing the Shining Slash. So there we go, it's fully procced. That's how I recommend doing that. Put him back on standing. Go ahead and show off a couple of combos with these skills. So same thing as the Deadly Dance on the male Earthling. You go into the Deadly Dance, you can go back into your basic string again right away, just by holding forward and continuing to mash the basic button. So, again, very, very useful skill. I completely agree with Mug the Dude, it is still a ridiculous skill. And, so I would recommend also doing this, just for the hell of it. If you get bored, you can do this. Go into Deadly Dance, Critical Upper, Gigantic Omega. Now, from my experience, I haven't had any of the AI vanish out of that or anything like that, so, very useful string of moves. They combo well into each other, do decent damage. Of course, you could probably argue that you could just go ahead and ult, which I wouldn't blame you. I rarely do it myself, And for the ultimate skills, same thing. Recommend Brave Sword Attack and Death Meteor. Now in groups, I would actually recommend Brave Sword Attack. Instead of that, you put on Spirit Sword. And I would recommend both Death Meteor and Spirit Sword for strikers if you're doing raids or expert missions. And that is pretty much going to do it for the video. I know it's a lot shorter, but I play my strikers very similarly to each other. And mostly these are just to go over a lot of the combos that some people might not be aware about without any skills, being these. And of course this one. And apparently, this is something I learned recently, is that every single female race in the game, they apparently have an endless heavy string where you can do this type of thing, but it's a lot easier to do with the female Majin. I don't have a whole lot of experience doing it with the other races and genders, and even then I think you have to, I'm sorry, the other females, and even then I think you have to break them in order to consistently do it with no problem with them. Whereas with the female Majin, you can just keep doing it. But that is going to do it for the video, and hope you enjoyed. And thank you for stopping by. If you want to see more, go ahead and feel free to stick around. I will see you guys later. Peace.